you understand that, then we blew up the pipeline to prevent Germany from buying gas from
Mhm.
Russia.
Okay.
And then when they blew it up, well, they already knew the name of the game was, well, where would Germany get their oil from or gas from? Oh, so
Yes.
they got to buy it from us, and we charge them four times what they were buying from Germany.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can see then how the situation was set up, and Germany, even to this day, is saying, "Well, we know who blew up the pipeline because we know who had the most to gain. Follow the money."
Wow, man. Wow. And you know what? This was not widely discussed and
No, that's not being
emphasized.
discussed in media. ABC, NBC, you ain't gonna discuss that. If you do, you don't lost your job.
I understand. You know what? I understand. You know what? And you tell us when your show comes on, and then I got other questions about TikTok.
But again, our show comes on cable, Chicago cable. You have to have cable to receive this every Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 on channel 36.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's every Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and, and every Thursday show from 10:30 to 11:30 on channel 36.
Okay.
A lot of those shows may be reshown.
Mm-hmm.
They may be reshown
Mm-hmm.
on on the internet on our cable show, the Plymouth show, which is
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is have an internet connection
Mm-hmm.
and know how to manipulate the web and go to PLIM the number two
Mm-hmm.
dot org.
Mm-hmm.
So that's wait a minute, no, it's PLIM the number two dot see
Mm-hmm.
org on the
Yes. Hmm. You know what his information, the information is that, and you know what? I want to go back to TikTok, Dr. Lee Warren, and thing is, young people. Okay, they say the average person on TikTok is from 8 to 25 years old. Okay, and they want to control that, saying that they're on TikTok too much. Shouldn't the parents have some type of responsibility to know what their child is doing?
That's true, but listen, the American parents are working so much
Okay,
to put food on the table, pay the rent. They don't have time to watch those children.
okay,
And even if TikTok wasn't there, uh, they wouldn't have time to watch the children watch their kids. And see, they use porno. See,
yeah,
to seduce their kids, drag queens, and all that stuff.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and that's left on the TV,
yes,
and they say nothing about that. But when the
they,
Chinese come here with TikTok, they
yes.
say, "Wait a minute, it's just too
Mhm,
much."
mhm. But you know, as you know what now, you know now the TikTok president, Mr. Chu, says that they have hired people in social media that are social media influencers to tell young people to take a time out from TikTok. Do you think that's a game? Were they sincere by hiring people to tell youth to take a time out from? I'm talking about influencers on TikTok to tell them to take a time out. Just cannot consume your life. So, do you think that was a strategy, or did they were sincere in the way TikTok presented these influencers to them to do this on a regular basis?
Well, you have to understand the agenda behind both of them,
Okay.
and the Chinese is trying to appease not only the American legislators but also their audience.
Yes.
And see, in that there's something that's a ruffle of feathers here.
Yes. Yes.
And so it comes back to the, they don't want the Chinese to have the power, to have the influence on their on that particular group of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said
Even
okay.
though it's the same thing that the regular media does here,
Mm-hmm.
and more so, uh, the programs are terrible for children here versus in China, because China has certain types of uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, rules and regulations concerning conducting that type of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it may be done on a subtlety, but that's how it's set up.
Mm-hmm. You know, when we talk about, I'm gonna ask you about AI technology, and you know what, but there's a reason, and I'm asking you right now: is there a race on between China and the United States and Russia? I'm not gonna say Russia because I don't think that Russia is the biggest threat to the United States. Is there a race right now between China and the United States to develop the best Chat GPT that they
Right.
can?
They're trying to develop the best technology for the interaction between robots and humans.
Okay, so there's a race right now.
Yeah, because it has many implications.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on just a moment.
Okay. So you know what we're doing is we're talking about TikTok, and you know what? There are 2 billion people that have downloaded TikTok, and I have Dr. Lee Warren, a Plum Howard Layton man on, and he's taking a refresher. So when he's ready, you, so Chat GPT, which Bill Gates invested heavily in. Okay, and I think they probably might end up challenging Google's, what Google's has a Chat GPT too. But you say it's a race between China and the United States of America to develop the best Chat GPT. And once they develop it, what would be the outcome of
Well,
this
now
once they perfect it?
they'd have the better, excuse me, the better interaction between humans and robots. In other words, you would talk to a robot just like you do a human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have your soldiers, your big ideas. They won't tell nobody, but they can make soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
AI soldiers,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
with the same relationship as humans have with humans.
Yes.
That's the pinnacle idea that they can make these robots having that same type of, uh, 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 I guess,
Humanoids.
humanoid. Human,
Androids. Yes.
right.
Yes.
Now, they won't get it perfect, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
be enough for them to perform a whole bunch of regiments of soldiers, etc., and perform on certain duties. In other words, they can become a chief form of labor.
Mm-hmm. Is it not a danger to that? Would you develop Chat GPT to where people will lose their creativity and their cognitive skills? Is that not a danger?
That to a certain extent that's true. But what happens? They would move the humans up another level and
Mm-hmm.
and, and allow the robots to perform various routine operations
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that
Is
new
is
that
Go ahead. I'm
humans
sorry.
wouldn't worry about, just like with certain types of activities that robots can do and activities what humans wouldn't bother with that because they go another level up and deal with mainly the creativity and other things.
Hmm. But you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, I think I asked you this before. With artificial intelligence, is it not a possibility that the android, a humanoid, is learning from you and is perfecting, getting better? It will come to a conclusion. Why am I serving something that is inferior to me? If it is programmed, is that not a possibility?
That's a possibility, but you have to consider one thing that the robot doesn't have,
Yes.
and that's a soul or a spirit.
Yes. Yes.
That's an immaterial substance
Okay.
that gives life to this human body and creativity.
Okay.
Now, and well, who is the oh who is the creator going to talk to? You got a robot, a bunch of batteries and wires versus a human body with a spirit inside of it that he can talk to the spirit.
Mm. Mm. I've just seen certain movie. I've seen certain movies, and you know what? People invent things, and you know what, like Frankenstein. I should hate to use the word Frankenstein, but it got to a point. Frankenstein is a monster for people that don't know, and he had control over it, and it didn't want to take it anymore. But yeah, that's something that they made a long time ago. I would like to ask you when you talk about Chat GPT, okay, and all of these algorithms, it says that um TikTok, what they're doing is in terms of censoring, they have an algorithm, an owl that is taking people off the platform and for violations and these violations, and there's no human beings that are monitoring these little one, I mean 6 to 10 second videos. I don't know if that's true though, but they say Owl is helping out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, AI probably can be taught to discern those types of videos that they don't want to be up, able to help censor it
Mm-hmm.
much more effective than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Because that they wouldn't have any emotional attached to it. They said, "This is what's done. It's done. Boom, cutting you off."
Oh, okay. And you know, Dr. Lee Warren, you know what? There are people that feel that TikTok is not really good because they say the more that the child looks at TikTok for every 90 minutes, so their attention span is getting being minimized. Would you agree with that? Because they're looking at something over.
That's right. That attention span is being minimized, but it's also with American TV do the same thing. So it's not unique so much to
Mhm.
Chinese. That's the same thing that holds for uh, Americans.
Yes, yes. And you know, man, you know, Dr. Lee Wong, is it not a danger in TikTok when they have these challenges? They have challenges on TikTok. Sweat says, "With a penny, put a penny in something, and you may get like that, or to vandalize something for a contest." And these challenges where they pour cold water over, is that not a danger? Is
Well,
that
yeah,
not a danger?
that's also that's a danger.
Hmm.
And similarly with Americans TV. I mean, with American programming.
Oh, talking about the Three Stooges. I got to tell you something. Me and my brother used to hit each other over the head because we watched the Three Stooges. That's three people. You're right. And you know, like Dr. Lee Warren, I would like your assessment of the subcommittee hearing that recently happened in year 2023 with Congress regarding TikTok. And what do you think was the outcome? Can you give us your synopsis of what you thought and what do you think will be the end result?
Well, the end result, I think it'll be some form of censorship placed on TikTok and some to some degree. Now, how much I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but they are going to restrict it, if not outright ban it. But they realize that has other implications uh, 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 to Chinese goods and things
Mm-hmm.
that they need.
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, we're gonna we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stop a certain thing that Chinese do. And the Chinese can say, well, we make 80% of your pharmaceutical drugs with,
Yes.
for just say for penicillin or whatever,
Yes.
or heart medicine. Well, we ain't making that for you.
Mm. What was your assessment of what the president of Mr. Chu, the president of TikTok, his responses? What was your assessment
Well, I think he did
of?
a very good uh, 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 uh,
Mhm.
on trying to address some of the things. But like I say, a lot of things that they were addressing about TikTok, similarly, what is what America's audience does.
Yeah. The end result, do you think that TikTok will be sold? Because President Joe Biden is saying that it should be sold or solely controlled by the USA. What what is your assessment, and what do you think is going to happen in
Well,
regards to that?
then you get into a lot of political aspects, a lot of things that you don't like.
Yes.
For instance, the Chinese
Hmm.
has bought one of the largest. They control about 80% of the pork in this country because they bought up all of the pork factories.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, most of the pork that's in it's already controlled. Those are they're American. I can't think of them right now. The American, you can look it up on the internet.
Hmm.
Is about 90% is controlled by the Chinese. They are
Hmm.
foreign firms that that China bought 60 and 70% of the majority of stockholders in there. So uh, 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 that's an
Hmm.
example of them, and then they can ship back uh, 70, 80% of the pork back to China because they're a
Yes.
great eater of pork.
Hmm.
And the United States can't do nothing with it because the factory is owned by China.
Yes.
And it caused severe shortages here.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's problems with the legislation. So that's what I'm saying. Tit for tat.
Yes.
It don't work out too good for America because most of the our manufacturing process has been shipped to China.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
the movies has that. So, well, what are you going to do to tell those folks you either do this? Well, you could put sanctions on them, but they all
Hmm.
in return sanctions back on you.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm winding down, and you know what? I want to ask you this question again. I know you already covered it, but I want to ask you: do you think that the president of China, when he made the statement on Fox, to Vladimir Putin, that this is a new world order, and you know what, between us and other nations in the United States, will not be included? Do you think he was just
Oh
talking or just popping off, or he was
no,
just
he wasn't
bluffing?
bluffing.
Because I looked at Pelosi. Pelosi went to Taiwan. He really didn't do anything about it. But can you? What's your assessment of that? The statement that he
Listen,
made.
you can see now one. We all those that have eyes to see and ears to hear that Biden is a weak president, a weak leader.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can look at him physically
Yes.
and see that he's incompetent.
Yes.
And you know damn well he ain't read all those bills that he signed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that in itself tells you that was that he's a very weak leader.
Yes.
And
President Xi understands that. Yes.
China understands that listen, we're gonna want rings around you
President Xi.
soon, and you're gonna find out that see China and Russia, if you they I forget how many tons of gold they have. It's like 60 or 70. Well, I see. I can't remember. It's about 100 tons of gold. So they have the
Hmm.
largest amount of gold of any nations.
Hmm.
Two
Hmm.
nations. So the golden rule is he who has the gold rule. So they can say, well, listen, we are going to accept a currency backed by dollars.
Yes.
And as we trade goods back and forth, it has to be in some form of dollars or commodities. So
Yes.
now, Th- That in itself shows you that you have undermined one of the most powerful currencies in the world, a dollar.
Yes.
Because people realize that they had printed so much dollars, and the value of the dollar compared to 1950,
Hmm.
it has lost most of its purchasing power. In other words,
Yes.
if you look at the purchasing power of the dollar, it's worth about 3 cents.
Yeah.
So uh, the only thing that keeps it's going is mainly,
Mhm.
see, it has a large amount of market activity that can that how should I say, I can't think of it right now.
Hmm.
Uh, it's easily accepted worldwide,
Yes.
more acceptable than what you call. That's the reason it's been accepted.
Hmm.
But as far as a currency, it's the worst currency. It's the best currency in all other currencies.
Yes.
In the laundry.
Mm. You know what I know about Taiwan, and you know what China considers them to be one nation. I would like to ask you about Jong Yong Kim. I think of South Korea. Do the Chinese just have control over Korea to a certain extent?
Well, to a certain extent, because they have the power to give them food,
Okay.
food and other technologies that they have they couldn't get from the West.
Hmm. If the U.S. made a provocation on South Korea, do you think that China would do anything about it or just try to negotiate?
Well, China did what? I mean, the U.S. did what?
I'm saying if the United States made a frontal attack and they were upset about John Yong Kim continuing to shoot off these missiles, and there was an attack on South Korea, do you think that China would do anything about it?
Oh yeah, they would come into it. They came into
Wow.
it. They came into in Korea when the United States
Hmm.
was I said semi winning the war.
Hmm.
Uh, they made a truce
Oh man, why is it that Joe Biden appears to believe that the biggest enemy to the United States is Russia and not China? Why is that?
because Russia has more technology. Like, how should I say it? They're technologically more advanced
Hmm.
than China. And a matter of fact, a lot of things that they have, like the missiles technology and stuff, they got from Russia.
Yes. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, do you think that China will end up controlling the China seas? And why is the China seas so vital?
But because most of the stuff is made in Asia
Okay.
that comes to the West. Most of the stuff is made in Asia. So how do you ship it? You don't ship
Hmm.
it by plane. You got to ship it by ship.
Hmm. When you make an assessment of both leaders, President Xi and Joe Biden, who do you think is the most strategic in planning for the future?
Who?
President Xi of China and Joe Biden.
Well, no contest. You know what that is.
I know. I know. President Xi. But like I said, Joe Biden, I don't think he realized. I think President Biden thinks that he can negotiate the way he used to, the way where they used to do things. And I think with Donald Trump in office, I don't think they would have done it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's an indication, right? You're
So,
correct on that.
okay. So, Dr. Lee Warren, when does you know what? I want to thank you for consenting to come on Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad does come on TV at 10:30 p.m. every Saturday night. We come on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Well, it comes on every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30
Hmm.
on cable channel 36. Now that's cable. You got to have cable to get this.
Mm-hmm.
It was not as quite expensive, and most people have have their cable cut off.
Yes.
But you can rewatch it on the web,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go to Plim. That's PLIM.
Yes.
The number two .org. That's on
Mm-hmm.
the web. You type that into the block up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It is a great it is a great show, and I encourage people. You have a YouTube site. Can you tell us what a YouTube site
That
is?
is Plim dot two or Plim PLIM. The number two .org is the website for watching a 2 hour show on the internet. They're
Oh,
free,
okay.
and that occurs every Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
8:30 to 9:30 on the and then Tuesday, then and then every a Thursday it's shown from uh 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 was it
10:30 to 11:30.
no from let's see from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's on
Okay.
Thursday evening.
Mhm. And y'all can cut and y'all can you know what y'all can also call Can Television at 312-738-1400 to get more information. And the links to his to their Facebook and YouTube website will be in the description. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, I thank you for coming on my little platform. I appreciate it. I'm trying to grow it, but hey, I get what Allah wants me to get. You know, and you know what, I thank you. You know, it's
Well,
an
you
honor. It's an honor to have you and people out there. You know what? If you have a platform, if you have a platform, you write articles, and you have a television show, a radio show. I would encourage you to have Dr. Lee Warren come on your show, or Dr. Penny Warren come on your show and write articles because you know what, they're trying to wake the people up. Unlike these big news stations, they trying to put you to sleep. So I would
that's
encourage,
correct.
yeah, so I would encourage you to have him on your social media platform, or your television or radio station, and write an article. Okay. But Dr. Lee Warren, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And I want to thank you for giving us information. If y'all like this, share it. If you don't like it, let me know. And you know what? But this is real. This is not Fox Television. This is not CNN. We don't have any constraints to where we're controlled by multi-million dollar corporations. This is news from a United States perspective. And people that look at this, you can look at this in the future and see what we were going through in the past. Okay, you can see that. I want to say thank you for all my teachers at Kennedy King College for teaching me about video production, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Lee Warren.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you take care.
Take
Yes,
care.
sir. All right. You're looking at the Underground Railroad and